Hello, class. Our project is going to be on a fatal church roof collapse in Indiana that resulted in the death of a firefighter on duty. This one is this is by Aiden Logan, Lucas Bodananski, Jonathan Corcus, me, Carson Lightfoot, and Antoine Hathaway. The cause was June 15th, 2011. The cause was likely a lightning strike. The state and federal fire arson investigators determined that the fire was most likely caused by a lightning strike to the church steeple. This strike caused damage to electrical and gas utilities within the building. In initial smoke observation, a passerby reported observing the church being struck by lightning at around 10:45 a.m. on the day of the incident. They also noted the light smoke around the south end of the church at the time. It is believed that the lightning strike grounded through the copper grounding wire within the attic space, partially below the steeple. The fire then smoldered in the attic void, possibly due to blown insulation, and combustible materials within the attic reached their ignition temperature and started the fire. Firefighters observed heavy fire conditions in a failing roof below the area where the steeple was located. Wind was a factor in pushing and feeding the fire. Additionally, when firefighters created a ventilation hole at the south end of the connecting hallway, fresh air was introduced and the fire quickly spread into this voided area. It is believed that the hallway connector and sanctuary shared a common attic. So what happened was the church's fire department was dispatched to the fire department was dispatched to the church fire with an unconfirmed address. Upon arrival, they observed visible flames and heavy smoke coming from the roof of the church. Due to the severity of the fire, a second alarm was immediately requested. And on the photo to the right, you can see the engine locations and truck locations, as well as the A, B, D, and C sides of the fire. So here are some of the structural facts of the building. The location and construction to start. The fire occurred in the attic space of a church sanctuary that was constructed in 1991. The sanctuary had a wood frame construction with a brick veneer finish and was situated on a concrete slab. The interior of the sanctuary contained wooden pews or chairs and wooden pulpit, music equipment, and had a carpeted floor. The roof structure had a sanctuary lightweight roof truss system made of 2x4s and a 2 by 6 inch lumber connected with a gusset plate. There was a void space between the ceiling and roof with blown-in insulation. The roof was covered with asphalt shingles. The fire department was aware that the area did not contain hydrants that could be used for fire suppression. However, it appears there was no specific pre-planning for the church complex. Another photo describing the steeple, the family center, and you can see that the attic would be combined between the two or shared between the two. The command failure failed to seek a collapse risk. The initial size up didn't consider the fact that the lightweight truss system that had been used for the roof. It also didn't consider the lack of water they had available to them at the time and the location. They were known there were no real signs of a there were no real signs of a risk for a roof collapse, but it did not seem that they took the time to think of quick options in case of a building collapse. They also did not know how long it had been burning in the roof before smoke had been shown. There was poor design in this building and maintenance as well. During the construction, local codes did not require the installation of sprinkler systems. Fire department was aware that the area did not have usable hydrant for fire suppression. Attic may have contained combustible materials such as insulation. The roof was a lightweight roof truss design. So there was a failure to recognize risks and prepare. Initial size-up did not fully consider the impact of having limited water supply, low staffing occupancy type, and lightweight roof truss system. There was rapid fire growth. The fire burned for an unknown period of time within the roof void space. The wind was blowing south to southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour, which vented the fire and caused it to grow. Also, local codes did not require certain installations such as sprinkler systems during the time of construction. Roof void allowed for fire to burn undetected for an unknown amount of time. So the lessons learned in this situation and the recommendations. Having a close by reliable fire hydrant so that firefighters can execute their duties in a precise and safely way. Having a structure that big with no available water source nearby is dangerous. It can lead to much worse fires and spread. Installing building codes with fire suppression systems within the church. Fire suppression systems are a great way for containing a small fire as well as being very useful when there are no human resources around. Always keeping in mind the wind speed and direction when responding to an open area fire like this. Wind can make a drastic change on its fire spread.